Take a look at these words. Choose one of them. Take a moment and think about them. What do you think? What comes to mind? Is it something good? Something positive? You may even feel a good sensation inside of you, a sensation of hope for our planet. Well, all of these feelings and opinions are used by some companies to trick us into thinking that the product is sustainable. That is what my product is about, greenwashing. First of all, what is greenwashing? Greenwashing is the act of misleading information about saying something is green or eco-friendly. In other words, scamming their customer by saying they're selling green products. But now, let's talk about how it all started. Greenwashing was coined in 1993 by a student who went on a trip to the Fiji Islands. It's said that the student found a note asking all the guests in the hotel to reuse their towels in order to save the environment. But the same hotel, at the same time, was on an expansion, destroying all the coral reefs around it. That student was the environmentalist Jay Westervelt, and after seeing what was happening, he wrote an essay in one of the New York area magazines, making it the first article about greenwashing in history. Now, a few months ago, I looked at some car ads, because my family needed one for Bali, and tried to guess what I saw in each one of them. Green images. 96% of the car ads I saw had at least one nature-evoking image. Here are some examples. Car companies use nature in their ads while the product is destroying it. Isn't it funny? Now raise your hand if you have a car. Now keep your hand raised if you ever notice this paradox. The few people who still have their hand raised still drive cars or mopeds because there's no solution to it yet. But some amazing souls, like Silvia Pastorelli, are trying to stop this. Silvia Pastorelli, a Greenpeace campaigner, once said, "All greenwashing efforts must be addressed with a legal ban on all fossil fuel advertisements, just as happened with tobacco." Now, let's move on and talk about greenwashing in the food industry. How about we start with a place that probably everybody has gone to? Starbucks. September 2020. Starbucks stopped using straws in their cups and started using the sipping method, an open lid that faced an option for customers not to use a straw. Even though this lid contained more plastic than the old lid and straw combination. Starbucks has said that this new lid contains polypropylene, which is recyclable, even though only 9% of the world's plastic is reportedly recycled, which will just end up with more plastic sent to landfills. Good news for us, Starbucks has been trying to sell reusable cups. But the most important fact about greenwashing is there are two types of consumers, experts and non-experts. Expert consumers are consumers that know what greenwashing is. Non-expert consumers are consumers that are not aware of what greenwashing is. It is scientifically proven that expert consumers are not affected by greenwashing. That is why it's so easy to stop greenwashing now, because it only takes to spread awareness. Back when Quest started in January, I didn't even have an idea. I was brainstorming all day and also in my sleep. I was about to give up and do the easiest thing I could come up with. But one morning, before I left for school, I saw my mom reading a book, a colorful book. I decided to take a quick look at it. As I started reading that colorful book, I saw a word that got my attention. Greenwashing. What a word with thousands of meanings. So I wrote down the word on my arm and left for school. As I was in school, break started, and I saw some young kids playing football, basketball, volleyball, lots of different games. And the only thing I could think about is how their futures are ruined because our previous generations polluted the planet. That's why, for my quest, I decided to write a fiction story about superheroes where main characters were 8th graders from my class. I wrote about superpowers, superheroes, even the 4 kingdoms they were living in. But there was a problem, a big problem. The first book I started writing about didn't have any greenwashing at all. That's why I decided to go back to the previous greenwashing slides I made back in March and start doing a book based on it. It happens even to real writers. That's why 3 weeks ago, I decided to put my fiction-written book aside, and come back to what I was writing on before. And in a week, I finished the whole new greenwashing book. I finished my book with the help of my teachers, the help of my family. At the end, I raised 6 million rupee, and they printed 50 books. Also, all the money I made is going to PKP Center. PKP is a community center that houses victims of domestic violence. I'm donating to PKP because my sister, Dana Montero, as her request, interviewed the PKP founder. And after the tour she told me, I was impressed. Also, my friend Mila Easthope is joining to PKP Center too. And I'm going to help her reach her goal, 33.9 mil rupee. But the original book I made isn't going to waste. My friend Fred and I are doing a movie we did, Aserum and the Eco Warriors. So don't miss it, winter 2023. Now, I would like to say something myself. 3 years ago, I was in a Spanish school. I wouldn't imagine myself living in Bali. I wouldn't imagine myself living out of Spain at all. But here I am, in Green School Bali, giving a speech about greenwashing to all of you. I would like to thank my parents for giving me the opportunity to study in this school. I would also like to thank my teachers for, after changing my quest, still standing by my side and trying to help as much as they could. I would also like to thank my friends and my pets for giving me all the emotional support I needed. And lastly, I would like to thank my siblings, Adrian, for giving me ideas for my book, and Dana, for sharing this quest journey with me and helping me make it much easier. And remember, if it's not green advertising, it's greenwashing, behind the green curtain.